have retraced my tracks following the canal back to Coypole and Marsh Mills, and now it's my intention to follow the route of the South Devon and Tavistock Railway. I am joining the Leamore and Can Quarry tramway path again that runs adjacent to the Tavistock and South Devon Railway. In my analogy of taking a virtual journey in 1895, I would have taken this line. It was proposed in 1853 and work began a year later when an Act of Parliament was passed. The railway was opened in 1859. Whereas the old tramway would have taken a route that would have hugged the contours mostly, the South Devon and Tavistock Railway was audacious enough to carve cuttings or build bridges to make the route as straight as was practical. The line is now operated by the Plym Valley Railway, a group of dedicated enthusiasts that extended the route up the Plym Bridge and installed a level crossing, which would not have been an original feature. The railway would have had a broad gauge of 7 foot and a quarter of an inch. However, by 1874 the London and South West had a route down from Oakhampton and Tavistock, and they shared this route using the standard gauge of 4 foot 8.5. To overcome the problem, they placed one rail inside of the broad gauge. 2 years later, the line was converted to a standard gauge. This station is modern, but the platform for the original station was constructed in 1907. So if I was to make my journey in 1895, I would not have been able to get off here. However, once the platform was in place, I could have purchased a ticket for a mere 6 old pence. That's about 2 new pence, or a shade more in modern money. People from Plymouth made this special trip out to the woodlands on the Woolworth Special to enjoy the evenings or weekends. What is more, people who lived along this stretch would have provided teas for the evening tourists. The train would have continued on to locations further on the route, but we'll visit those later. Our route takes a gentle incline, and structures can be occasionally seen en route. We arrive at the Can Viaduct, which allows the passerby a fantastic view of the valley. Can Quarry had been worked out of slate, but Elven roadstone was still being extracted. However, this was not the original viaduct. This viaduct was constructed in 1907 to replace the wooden structure originally built by Brunel about 40 years earlier. The timber structure was dubbed the Cornish Fan Viaduct, a design that was relatively cheap and easy to construct, and a design which was used extensively through the southwest. The bases are still visible below the current arched structure. Unfortunately, when they built the new bridge parallel to the old one, they placed the footings on spoil from the quarry. This led it to become unstable. It was necessary to brick up one complete section to support the arch. Wooden bridges might flex, but brick and stone are less yielding. The end of the arch have some interesting features. It's difficult to work out what the function would have been, but there are doors and steps evident.
One of the problems of doing a video presentation like this is that it takes a long time. So continuity has gone a little bit out the window, a long way out the window, and so therefore you might see me in different dresses at different times. Doesn't matter, it's just taken a long time. I started last September, it's now March. So with that in view, we'll try and continue on, shall we?